In this particular video, if you don't recognise, well, hopefully you recognise this old face, but if you don't recognise this young man, it's Stephen Chapman, who's all the way down under, or depending on which side of the globe you're on, because I could be all the way up and under. But I'm obviously in the UK and Stephen's in Sydney in Australia, and we've been Knack buddies, Knack friends, kind of, colleagues for a couple of years or more. We've never actually even been in the same hemisphere at the same time, I don't think.
No.
But it's 9 o'clock here in the UK and 8 a.m. the following day. So it's 9 p.m. Monday and 8 a.m. for you on Tuesday, which just kind of freaks my brain out. And so I appreciate you taking the time to jump on. And the reason being is that Stephen's recently created was it called Knackfinder?
Knackfinder.
Knackfinder, which replaced, I think, there was one called Definitions, wasn't it? Which I used quite a bit, and then Definitions suddenly disappeared. Do you know what the story of that was, or do you know why that went?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it disappeared. I think the developer Nia created a Chrome extension for it, but that didn't seem to be too compatible with a lot of people not using Chrome.
So for those that are watching this thinking, what the hell are we both talking about? The application of Definitions was I think it was it's a Knack application, but you could put your Knack application ID into it, and then this is real layman's terms because I'm not a computer nerd, and then it would kind of scan through your schema and produce a graphic kind of result of where all your pages were, all your views, all your scenes. And it was great if you were trying to make a change that you thought was like a fundamentally breaking change. So a client says, oh yeah, we don't need that field anymore, delete that field. And if you've ever been a Knack builder and you do that, you delete the field, and then suddenly you find that field was in text formulas and equations, and it was on loads of pages and loads of forms, and suddenly it's not broken the app, but now you're getting lots of repairing requests like this isn't working. So it was a great way to be able to think, before we make this change, where else does it exist? So I used it for that, but I'm pretty sure I was just barely scratching the surface. Now also at the same time, and I don't know, you two guys obviously weren't you weren't talking to each other, but Ivan also created a very similar one called Navigator, which I have played around with and I'm kind of getting my head around, and I've got a call with Ivan in a couple of weeks' time. But I think you were working in literally on the opposite sides of the planets on a very similar solution. But I haven't had the opportunity yet to jump in and see yours. So rather than me doing a video, and because I'd be rubbish and probably not show all the wonderful things it's got, and also it gets me through that learning curve a bit quicker, I thought it'd be great to get you on, so welcome and thank you, to do a showing, a walkthrough and show us what it is, and not sell your wares, because you've created this for free, haven't you? I mean,
yes, it's free. Yeah.
What's the story on that then? It's just like, I've got a spare few hours, I'll just sit here and do this and give it away.
Well, yeah, I figure it just gives you value to like developers like you and I and everyone else. I wouldn't want to sell it. Like, it's just something. Oh no,
you liar! You would want to sell it, but people would anyone pay for it? That's the thing nowadays. Everyone expects it all for free, don't they? That's the thing. So,
well, I'd rather people build like good sound apps rather than and this would be helpful rather than get into a mess and
So if you
have to borrow their way out.
If you haven't seen Stephen Chapman before, if you haven't been on the Knack forum, and you probably not met him, but if you have been on the Knack forum, Stephen's the guy that comes up with, it always makes me smile, because people will often put a question on the forum about, they'll put something, and I read the question, and like, I didn't even understand the question. Like the thing they're trying to do, I'm like, I don't even understand what they're trying to do. And then you come up with like this video and a working example of it, and they go, and almost always they go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And it just kind of blows my mind that you have this ability to be able to take the written words from someone's paragraph and actually translate that into a solution. I struggle. I'm much more visual. So if they showed me it, I could probably. But you're amazing at that. So that's probably where you might have seen Stephen from. So I'm probably blowing smoke up your proverbial, but I'm always quite in awe of how you come up with such elegant solutions. So
thanks for that.
That's all right. Yeah, now I've completely picked you up. If you want to, do you want to jump in and just run us through it's an application, isn't it?
Yeah, it's based in Knack, so it's just a regular Knack application. It's built in my own portal I've built, and it's just a tool add-on onto that. So I'll just share it here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Can you move us off of your screen? We've got 2 screens? That's it. That's better because there's a bit more room.
Awesome.
People don't want to be freaked out.
So yeah, this is what you see when you first log in. That's just stephenchat.knack.com/portal Knackfinder. And you can then basically list any and all applications that you want onto this screen, so that you can just quickly click on it and access that app again and again, or switch between apps.
So we're
going to use this.
So just to add an application for those that don't know how to do it, you add the application and then you just get your app name, give it an app name, and then your application ID, which comes from the settings section inside the builder, and you just paste that in there. And that's obviously for the non-computer WizKid geniuses like I'm not. Obviously, you're not using the API key, so you're not exposing anything. It's just the application, so you're not making the data available to anybody else or any security.
We're never touching the API key. That's right.
So it's just the application ID you paste in.
Just this one here. We're going to paste it in and submit. And now we have one new app here. We can add as many other apps as we want. It'll just list it down there.
So you can have a nice library of applications. So you don't have to keep adding the ID.
Yeah. If you're anyone like you and I, Carl, we'll have probably 20 plus applications on the go at once. So
you do.
You should see my actual version of this.
I don't work
about 40.
I don't work that hard nowadays, so you probably do, but I don't have that many.
There's some instructions here as well, just for a bit of briefing as well, but we'll try and cover most of that. And if you click View, you get given to this blank screen. By default, it shows nothing, but if you click Search, and you have all selected, you have all of your elements of your app are listed down below and grouped. So you've got your objects or tables, you've got all your fields, you've got your tasks, your scenes, which are your pages, and your views. So all of these, then any emails, so you'll have a list of emails, then your code, so that lists your JavaScript and CSS. That'll be important a bit later when we focus on that particular part. So you can basically start searching for anything in your app. That could be a element key, like a field, or it could be just a keyword. So you might have the word product in your app. If we type product, it will show you all the elements which contain the word product within that scene or view or field. So it might be in the actual label itself, or it might be in a description. So
even in the description, even on the description on an object, you might have just typed something in the description and that'll pick that up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll show you some specific examples, but we have a couple here.
This is one you prepared earlier.
This is what I prepared earlier. So we got our field search. We might search field 37, and we can see everywhere where field 37 is referenced. So it's connected to these two different objects, whether that's through a connection or some sort of setting within that connection. So if we can dive in and shortcut it straight into the builder here. That'll take us straight to this field settings. Or if we go to here, we'll see taking us to object 7. We can see it must be linked through products field 37. So it's a connection to this statuses table as well. So you can see how it's relating to that. That means if you want to make a change to that, make sure you're aware of this connection. That's there as well. We can search on views. So someone might provide us with a view, or we know about it. And then it'll show you what view that is. You'll see that, and what page or scene it's on as well, because that's stored in the metadata of that page, that particular view key. And a lot of the times, if you just type in add purchase, we can see everywhere where the keyword add purchase might be. That'll give you a bit more of a drill down where you might find all those.
So if you search the word purchase, that would give you all your add forms and all your edit forms and any menus and pages that existed on.
Ideally, yeah. So you'll be able to have a good search of those.
Edit purchase at the bottom,
A lot of the times, clients will provide me with a link to the live app when they're like, something's wrong with this page. Here it is. So I use the slug that's in that.
So that's just the last URL. Part of the last part of the URL, just so you're looking. because often clients will send me, they say, oh, something's not working properly, and they just send me a screenshot of the page with no URL, and I'm like, I've no idea what page you're on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like this product details here, I'll be like, oh, I actually don't know where in the massive tree of pages this particular page is. So I'm going to come to this tool, search product details, and all of a sudden we have all these other ones here, which is a bad example because they're probably product details, this, and this.
Actually, it's quite useful because sometimes you might think, oh, I know where that page is, but then you realize there's other views you've created or that field is on that page as well. So you might need to make changes to 6 or 7 scenes or so.
Yeah, exactly. Or it might be that they have a redirect or something which has that slug of product details, which is why we might be seeing it in the add order. Let's just dive into that one, not spend too much time, hopefully. But we confuse. Oh, it's probably because it exists as the parent page is product details,
right,
which is why it's showing all these results here. There's a few funky things that go on because of how the metadata of Knack stores these sort of keywords, but yeah, for the most part, it does drill down nicely. But yeah, in this example, add purchase 2, we can see this is the scene of add purchase that we want to deal with, just to be a bit more simpler.
Yep.
We can also search by the record ID. So this is in cases where you might filter by a particular status or something that's an actual record. So if we go and search this one, we can see that, and sorry, that record ID marries up with this active status here.
Right, okay.
So we might search
even though
everywhere.
Knack doesn't expose it in the actual table, it's, you can still find it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see here that if we have a look, we can see that status is active is one of the filters.
Gotcha.
So
it still takes a little bit sometimes to try to find exactly where it is, because it could be a connection, it could be a filter or a link.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be in any spot. It just sort of narrows down a little bit.
I was about to say it narrows it down, so at least you're on the right scene or the right view. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
That's right. We do see a number of matches. So if that keyword or something appears multiple times in that particular element, it will show a count. So you might have product as the title and then product in the description as a keyword.
Right.
So it might show a couple of different matches on that.
Okay.
Let's try it now. Yeah, so you can see 7 matches on product, or 2 in this particular scene, or 4 in this particular view. They're just that keyword product.
That's not the results you want when someone wants to make a change. You think, oh my God, there's loads,
That's right.
There's loads of matches. It could be everywhere. Yeah. Oh, actually, actually it's picking up. You've got a view 13 there, purchase, close modal refresh. So you've got a keyword from KTL there as well.
Oh, I was going to go into that example next.
Oh, sorry.
So we might use a keyword because we want to know everywhere where the close modal refresh appears.
I had that the other day, and I had a call with Normand, which I didn't record because we were just having a catch up, and he showed me how I could do it in the KTL search box. But in my test app, I'd added the keyword _BM for bookmark. And that will then, I'm not sure if you've used that one, it shows a little bookmark little bookmark panel, and you can bookmark pages. But you can put it on any view and it will show everywhere in the application. Oh my God, I put it on one view somewhere and I could not find where it was. So that would have worked really well for me instantly. I could have just used this and just found that keyword. Norman did show me how to find it, but I spent about an hour going through every single page, literally opening up every page in the tree to try and find that keyword so I could remove it because I didn't want to show it in the video.
Yeah, makes sense. I just added it there _BM just as an example. If we just refresh this and search for that, we can automatically see that it's appeared in that search.
That makes it a lot easier.
So you can just click on that little crumb trail there and it should refresh the data for you. What doesn't refresh is the JavaScript and CSS. It's not instant. So if you make any changes there and do a search, it may not update those results in the.
Okay, why is that just the way Knack works, or it takes a little bit?
I believe it's the way. Yeah, I believe it's the way those files are cached, or it take a while to update because they are technically publicly accessible, like JavaScript and CSS files.
Okay.
they do go through a process. And I'm not technical enough to explain that as well.
Well, if you're not technical enough, there's no hope for me. I won't know the answer.
And just one more example, I want to search everywhere where this particular email address appears.
That was that's one of my killer questions, because that's something. I've got one particular client who's got they love tasks that send emails to remind people to do things, and forms that when you add a job, it sends a form to, I don't know, Sally to say this job has been added, and then it's fine. And then one of their employee leaves, and the guy phones me up and says, "Can you remove Sally and add Stephen?" And I'm like, "What?" He says, "Well, wherever Sally had an email, like there's like I've got to be 50 tasks in that app, and all these inline. Would it find it if it's if you've got an action link on a table, and that action link is sending an email? It will find that email even on an action link. So tasks,
let's give it a go.
Yeah, because that was the one that I struggled with.
So send an email. We're going to say sally@stephenchapman.me.
Because there's emails on an action link, there's emails on a task, and there's emails on a form submit, isn't there? Like an edit form or an add form. They're really the only ones, really, aren't they?
So we're searching for Sally. So yeah, now it does appear in that result for products.
Just curiosity, if you did Sally add, does it have to be the whole email address, or could you, if you only knew part of the email, if you didn't know like what the domain was?
It seems to be working for that. There are a few caveats where it doesn't work, but I think it is picking that up nicely.
Yeah, that's cool, because I had that the other day that I wasn't exactly sure we knew what their name was, but we didn't know what the domain was. So that was really hard to find.
But yeah, from this link, you still have to do a bit of searching. So you'll be like, okay, is it in the source? Is it in the settings anywhere? And then actually finding this trigger action, being like, there it is.
It won't take you straight to this view the scene and open it up and show you the actual column, but it will tell you it's on this scene 3 somewhere. That email address is in this scene. Well, that's going to save a lot of time, because there's only so many places it could be, isn't there, really? So
that's right. If you know all the places, it's not too hard to go through and look.
I did think
there are a few.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say there are a few places where it isn't actually visible on the app itself. Like if you, let's say, add a filter menu, like all these different filters exist, and if you click that,
yeah, they're still there. But
technically, all those. Using that example, they're all still stored underneath. Like you can see that status thing is there. Because
when you close it, it just collapses them. Because when you open it up again, they're all still there. Yeah. So that could be tricky then. So you're looking around thinking, well, where is that active category? But it's just because someone switched it off of user filter menu to don't allow records to be filtered. Yeah. So
aware of some of those issues as well, but it's not bad in the grand scheme of things.
What I was going to say, and this is probably more of an age thing from my perspective, because I kind of liken myself now to like classic Coke. I've got to that point where I feel like I'm old enough that I can be a classic Coke kind of guy. But this is only presumably working in classic and not in the new React version next gen. This doesn't work in next gen.
Well, technically, it would be the same structure. It's just looking at the classic version of the structure, that's all. But both versions still share that same structure, so it should technically work. It's the same database.
Yeah, so in theory, if you are one of the new brave people venturing into next gen, you should be able to still use this to find stuff just by copying the application ID in. Cool.
Yeah. I believe so. There might be some new options or parameters that get introduced in next gen, which might not be available in the old version. So that might be where you start seeing those discrepancies. So we'll worry about that.
When will we worry about that?
Oh, probably when next gen becomes more up and running.
Oh, okay. So are you using next gen much, or are you still classic?
I'm trialing it out at the moment, so I haven't quite fully dived in just because of the limitations in JavaScript functionality.
I was going to say then, so the link, which obviously, as you can see in the URL, but I'll put a link to it in the video so people can click through, and just it's free to use. So thank you for that, and thank you for the time for creating it. What is there future developments? Is there anything in the pipeline you're thinking of doing?
I'll show you quickly. Yeah, one last function. So we got by default showing all of the different elements. We can also filter down, just show all your objects. That gives you a few extra summary fields like number of records, which is always good to see. The number of records in each table, number of fields, number of tasks. We look at fields, we can see the type, the options available. So we can see if it's a multiple choice, all the different options. Obviously, that's not going to work for connection fields because otherwise we'd have to use the API key to load all those in.
Yeah.
It's just showing you multiple choice. If we look at tasks, we can see what the schedule is, if it's running or if it's paused, what table that's connected to, and scenes. So we can see which ones have page rules available. This is what I wanted to highlight. It's where there's a broken redirect link on it. So it's flagging that as yes, and which I might highlight.
So it's got redirect to a page and there's no page selected.
Yeah, so I'll quickly show you what that looks like.
Not that I'd ever do that as a professional Knack developer. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it does happen.
I have had that where a page has been renamed, and when you rename it, it just blanks it out, doesn't it?
Sometimes it does that. It has some weird things.
I have seen that's a handy feature because that'd be really hard to find. That would.
Like we sort of discussed before, if those scenes become detached from other scenes, it will show as orphaned as well. But there's no in that case.
I don't think we talked about it on this video. So before we started recording this, I was saying that one of our fellow colleagues, Ivan, ironically was also creating a very similar solution, which I've started to use. But when I was using it, it was giving me results for pages that had been long deleted. In fact, when it took me to the page that added a client, that form, when you submitted it, would send an email to someone that left the business years ago. And I queried it, and it's because it's still finding this legacy page in the builder, and it wasn't actually in the structure at all. And I'd never heard of that. So you've captured that to show if pages whether they're orphaned or not, which is really useful.
Yeah, that's right. And like you can't see it highlighted in the page, so you have to come in to the page settings and delete it from there if you want to go and delete that scene completely.
That's interesting, because I couldn't work out how to delete it, because normally I delete it from the left-hand side, so you can just come to the top. Every day is a school day, isn't it? I've only been doing this for 10 years, so you can just click on the drop-down there and delete that page, even if you can't find it in the structure. So
that's right.
That's how you can delete an orphan page. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Or if you can't access that for whatever reason, you can just put /delete after it as well. That sometimes occurs in some views that aren't shown and are orphans, but that's even rarer occasions.
What was that one? You just type delete after the end in the URL, and then when you hit return. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you press return on the keyboard, that will delete that page.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's very rare occasions where you can't actually access this delete at all.
You can just type.
I won't go into that.
No. That's two things I've learned today. There you go. Wow.
I'll continue on. Here's the views. So we have what type it is, any record actions that are available, broken links. So again, those might be page links within a grid or like a redirect. It'll show any broken links or number of that appear in that. So if you go and delete a page, it might not go and clear that value out.
Right.
Or delete that. Emails. Not too much there at the moment, but I might add some other columns if it's helpful as a summary. Probably won't show the full email, just in the case of keeping this simplistic. That way you just go and dive in and go straight to that email. And then your code, you can see number of lines in that code, whether that's JavaScript and CSS. You can also see missing keys. So seeing 999, it actually doesn't exist anywhere apart from in the JavaScript. So we can go and do some tidy up and say...
That's handy, isn't it? Because I've done that, where you've created a piece of code, I've tried to do something, and then I've decided I'm just going down this horrible rabbit hole, and I think, I'll do it a different way, and then I can't actually remember where I pasted the code into the JavaScript window, and I think, I can't remember what the scene was, I'll carry on. And you've got redundant code sitting there, so this will identify any scenes, or is it views as well? If you deleted a view, will it do the same?
Scenes, views, fields, anything that has that
a missing
sort of key.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of more of a housekeeping thing, isn't it? But that's still really useful.
That's just a matter of deleting that out. But as I said, it doesn't update instantly the code in this, so you just have to wait a couple of hours or a day. But,
a couple of hours or a day. Okay, right. So a considerable amount of time. There's no point just sitting
there.
Keep refreshing it. That could be quite some time.
Yeah, that's right. So don't rely too much on that not working. So yeah, that is basically everything about Knackfinder. So yeah, some other things I want to do is just highlight a bit more apparent any of those errors. Maybe put some little helper text when you hover over the columns here.
So just
helps people understand what orphaned actually means.
So just tool tips. So when you hover over it, you get a little tooltip pop up. Yeah, that'd be handy. That's part of the reason really for asking you to run me through it, because I would have probably not necessarily understood what broken, redirect and orphaned mean. And actually you can look at some of this information sometime, and because you don't understand what the column headings mean, you kind of miss the feature, which to you makes sense because you built it. But to us mere mortals, a tooltip is always useful. Is that it? Yeah. So we're good. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to run through that. As I say, I'll put a link in the video description below. I can't remember. Have you got your YouTube channel going? Are you still doing the YouTube stuff?
Yeah. I'll have to find a link for it, and we'll hopefully include it in this video as well.
Yeah. Ping it through, and I'll just top and tail this video and put a link to Stephen's website on there. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Obviously we've rattled on a little bit, or much longer than usual. Normally my videos are only 4 or 5 minutes, so this has been like 27 minutes. So if you're still with us, I appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. It encourages us both to keep going, especially Stephen creating this kind of stuff for free to help the wider community. So that's it, and I'll catch up with you on the next one. Thanks very much, Stephen. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Carl.
Cheers.